everybody. Okay, so I do these things now because I watch the show and then I have thoughts after the show, like way after. And so this is the kind of aftermath of watching the episode, and like once I've had time to really digest it and then think about stuff, that's this is what comes out. I'm gonna try to keep this video around 5 or 6 minutes. It might be a little bit longer, but hopefully not 10 minutes. Um, okay. So one thing that struck me from yesterday was how everybody it's kind of like a big problem that everyone's trying to solve, and it's kind of become a group effort. And I never thought it would be this way because I was always thought it was going to be the Abbotts versus the Newmans, not with a bunch of other people involved. But this is where we are. Okay. Now, apparently, from yesterday, which I also mentioned, I didn't watch the first 15 minutes because life got kind of hectic yesterday. So I think I missed like a piece of it, but I think I'm starting to get it now because the good thing about them going a little slow is they seem to rehash stuff. So like even if I didn't see it when it first came on, they talk about it and I'm like, oh, okay, so that happened. Because I know enough of the story to go, okay, so that's what this person did. And then, go from there. Okay. So in the spirit of everybody working together, Nikki promised Jack that she would help him, you know, um, get get like Victor to calm down or something. I don't know. This is what she said the other day. Now, at some point, I think it was yesterday or maybe today, she says, "I'm coming over." And Billy happens to be there too. And Billy says, "Well, I think that's a good sign." But he says, "I didn't think it happened so quickly." And then I didn't know what she was going to say. So I didn't want to assume anything yet. But then she comes in the door and she says, "Well, I want to talk to you." And I'm like, okay. So we still haven't got to the point where she said anything. And then she says, I'm sorry, but I don't think I can help you. And I'm like, again, Jesus. Okay, so you say you're going to help your friend, but because your husband blows the gasket, you're not going to help your friend out now. Okay, now I know I may receive some pushback from this because I know there are people who believe that if you're married to somebody, and because I'm a girl, I'm going to go from the wife's perspective. Okay, so say I'm a wife and my husband doesn't like somebody. Some people would say if the person doesn't like the other person, then you should extricate the other person from your life because your partner, your husband, doesn't like him. Right? Okay. So for Nikki and Victor says he doesn't like the fact that they still have a friendship. So then, according to this person's logic, she's supposed to give up on the friendship because her husband doesn't like him. I don't always agree with that because unless the other person is asking you to do something that's against your marriage vows or something like that, or something that goes against what you promised to your spouse, then okay, I could maybe see that. But this is not this case, okay? He's asking for help so that he won't lose his company. And this is a company that he and his family have built over the years, and his father built, and now he's to take over the legacy. And he's only asking his friend for help. And she's saying, basically, I picked my husband over you. But she tried to couch it in, well, but I can't help you, but I can try to do something else. And I'm sure that I could do something that doesn't go against Victor. I'm like, woman, you already made your decision, okay? You chose your husband over your friend. And although I don't agree with it, okay, whatever, you made your choice. But then don't try to make it easy and like, but I can still help you. Okay, because your first answer is probably the truth that was going in your head. So your first answer is no. Anything else is CYA at that point. Okay. Okay, for today's episode. Now today's I saw the whole thing. So okay. Billy. Okay, now the reason I want to talk about Billy here is that Billy seems to be integral to the plot, and I just feel like in my bones there's going to be a lot that happens that involves him. Now, I can't put a finger on it, but I just feel that way. But I do have a little piece that I got today that I didn't think about until somebody else brought it up, and it made sense. Okay, now Billy is an interesting character because he's the youngest of that family. Okay, so when you're the youngest, well, I think Tracy is the youngest, but he's the youngest brother. So he still feels like he has to prove stuff to Jack, prove his loyalty, prove himself, all the things that you are when you're a younger sibling, right? Okay, but he swears he's on board with helping Jack get the company back and all this stuff, right? Okay, however, Jack says, okay, I want you to be behind me. I believe in you. I have faith in you, but I'm worried that you are going after this because I'm starting to see the old Billy again. And the fact that you don't think about, I don't know, I don't think you're thinking about the right things or something like that. And I was like, okay. I could kind of see that because on one level only, because I could kind of see in his eyes that he is a man that looks like he's got nothing to lose. And I've talked about this a little bit before, so I'll just slightly reiterate it. But when a man or a woman, but I'm just saying a man for this case, when a man has nothing to lose, when he literally gets to that point, he is the worst person and the most destructive person you'll ever meet on the planet because he feels he's got nothing to lose. That is a completely different animal right there. So I believe it to that point. But I also believe that Billy felt kind of slighted by Jack because Jack jumped to the conclusion that he wasn't on his side already or whatever, you know what I mean? And he didn't have the ultimate faith in him that he claimed he had a while ago. He's like, yeah, I have faith in you. I have faith in you. But when it comes down to the metal to the road or whatever, I know they say the rubber to the road, but I'm just saying when the metal, you know, I don't really think that Jack believes that Billy is going to be there or whatever. I don't know. So that's how I feel about that. Okay. Now, as for Audra, now I know I talked about this before, okay, but I thought of a different angle. For some reason, it just popped in my mind a little while after I made the video that, okay, now Audra said that she wants Claire to find out that life isn't all roses and she's going to be the one to prove to her that, it isn't all great. Okay, but I think, sweetheart, you're missing the point here because, like I just said, when a woman or when someone feels like they got nothing to lose, they're destructive. And then also, which I didn't add. And this isn't like a phrase or anything, but sometimes when you feel like you got something to prove or you want to do something to somebody, it often backfires on you, sweetheart. You might want to watch that. I'm just saying because I've seen it. I've seen it in different stories and different things of like somebody is like bent on, I'm going to do this and I don't care what happens. And then, okay, they do it, but then they don't consider the stuff after, like the aftermath that comes after they do the thing they wanted to do. I'm saying it can be bad. So, all right. Bye, everybody.